Alright, Spawn. I'll be your next opponent.
Well, this'll be interesting. Ready? Fight!
Who said that? Alright, Spawn. Prepare to die. Whoa! But first, we need to do the, celebratory Mortal Kombat dance.
Tough.
What language? Language. Gotta be family friendly. Not kid friendly, but family nonetheless.
What are you going on about?
Let me show you.
Please stop. Stop it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
What in the nine hells was that? Also, how are you still fine?
Alright, first question, Mortal Kombat theme song. Second question, I'm just accustomed to taking large things down my throat. Tuna. Large chunks of tuna. What were you thinking?
Thinking that Boja would be better company right now. So I'm gonna... Yeah.
Wait, no, come back. We need to fight to the death. Also, had chapstick, if that helps.
Listen to Rangers, welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve, and today we'll be going over the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat Spawn figure. Just want to say thank you to my good buddy Rez. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, link in the description. He's the guy that did our intro video and such. Cool guy, does some custom works here and there. I just want to say thanks, buddy, for making that trade for me, because I went around to like 4 Walmarts and to no avail of getting hold of this guy. Actually, only 2 Walmarts I went to actually had the collectible section to begin with. So there's that. But seems like it's a hard figure to get a hold of, especially looking at it on eBay. So for the sake of this review anyways, we're going to be reviewing this guy, giving you the evaluation at the end of the video based on its retail price, which is like 20-25 bucks depending on where you pick it up. Anyways, main reason I wanted to get this is not really because I like Mortal Kombat. Like, I really like the old ones, don't get me wrong. But I don't really collect Mortal Kombat, but I was always a big fan of Spawn, and especially like the movie Spawn, the animated Spawn that used to play at HBO. And this to me just seems like probably like one of the sweetest looking renditions of almost like the movie Spawn. Not so much as the comic book. So it's kind of why I want to pick it up, just because I don't have like a movie version in my collection. So this is kind of going to replicate it for the most part. I also plan on doing a customizing video because I really want to redo his cape. So I might keep the skulls, but the rest of it's probably going. And also a display base for him. But anyways, we're just going to get into it. So without further ado, for the packaging, you get the little bit of like in-game Spawn here on the bottom, and then the action figure on the top on the side here. Front of the package just has Spawn on the bottom. I do like the green background because it kind of goes with his necroplasm. Also have Mortal Kombat at the top, opposite side, more Mortal Kombat, McFarlane Toys, some swooshings. Back just has him kind of strutting his stuff. It's 22 points of articulation, some more information about it, and some diggle mumbo jumbo on the bottom, and a little clearer view on the top. But anyways, let's get him opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now we got Spawn opened up out of his cardboard prison. First and foremost, we'll go with his accessories, starting with, I guess we'll actually start with his base, which you get the circular disc. This says Mortal Kombat on the bottom, trademark. Got a peg here on the side. Well, it's like side of the disc. It's like towards the upper right of it. But he also has 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet, so you can't put that in either one. But mainly the way the lettering's set up, you kind of want it to have it like this. This seems to work out best if you want to have him standing by himself, because the cape on this guy is actually pretty heavy, so without it, you can kind of use the cape a bit as its own little stand, but because this is a softer material, it will flex over time, so that can be a prevalent issue with this figure. And then without the stand, if you want to try to do dynamic poses, You either are incorporating the cape into the poses, or he's going to tip backwards. So it is nice that he comes with the base. I kind of wish it was a little bigger though, because I don't know to me, but it kind of bothers me that it doesn't cover both of the feet. So that's always a little weird. It's like if you want to put it on this one, it's going to be like this, or you got to kind of adjust it, and then it's just a little awkward. So yeah, but still nice to have. And then he also comes with the super spiffy sword, which actually looks really nice. You have the Spawn logo on the center of the guard here with the blade. Has a nice unique shape to it. It's sort of a gunmetal coloring with a little bit of weathering here and there. Some leather looking wrapping on the handle here. And then a little metal piece there. Got a pointy little spiky end on the bottom. Awesome accessory. Now, for me, having played like the old Mortal Kombat games, I think it was Armageddon that you got to spawn in. But he had like an axe in it. I kind of wish you would have had the axe. Like, the sword's cool, but like, I don't know why, but it's just like Spawn and axes seem like they should go together. Like axe, like all these chains and spikes and stuff. Like, he's kind of got like a barbarian vibe to me. And yeah, I just think like the axe might have been like a little bit cooler. But the sword does show up in the game, so is a pretty nifty little accessory. And then you can also have it on either of the hands. Hands are slightly flexible, so it's not super hard to get the sword in there. That's pretty much it for that. Might have been kind of nice. Like, one thing I think that would be neat with these, and I noticed gotten the Spawn figure, or not Spawn, the Scorpion figure recently. Of course, you see him right here. But they don't come with extra hands. And for a fighting game, I feel like that's kind of a necessity almost, because he has like 2 gripping hands. How's he going to punch people with gripping hands? It's just going to kind of look weird. Granted, like most collectors, like when you're going to have them on yourself, especially with the way the base is designed, how you kind of have to keep them in a more stagnant pose if you don't want them tipping over. I understand, but like some open hands would have been kind of cool, or heck, even just like clench. I guess like these, like you don't really quite need to clench fish, but like open hands would have been kind of cool. But that more so for like, I guess customizer purposes, like open hands would have been kind of a nice option, especially what I plan on doing with this guy eventually anyways. But it's like you get your sword in your base, like that's all I'm really expecting out of these, especially at the price point. Like extra hands stuff kind of starts adding up in cost, so I understand, but I'd pay an extra $1 or $2 to have some clenched fist or open palms. Would have been great. Now moving on to a closer look at Spawn's details. Head sculpt is fantastic. Actually, the sculpt of this thing's fantastic, period. Like, it kind of reminds me a lot of the movie Spawn, which I always thought was super cool with the way the suit kind of just looks like skin. Which it sort of makes sense for the backstory of how the suit actually works. Personally, I kind of like the spandex look a little better though. Like it's just like original McFarlane look. But this is probably the best looking movie Spawn figure we've gotten, which is kind of sad because it's a video game version. Some of those figures are kind of cool. But with the head sculpt, you get the more traditional Spawn print for the mask here. With the one thing I guess I kind of wish it was a little bit more of a brighter white for some of this, because it's more of like an off beige color for these sections here. Also, mine's got like a couple little nicks here and there on the mask. But outside of that, like sculpt-wise looks really great. And I like how the skin around the mouth kind of shrinks in forward. It gives a little bit more of a gnarly look to it. Also has those nice green necroplasm eyes, or just like it's like a neon green. And then you can see here kind of messing around with it a little bit, but you have his cape, which not as elaborate as I kind of wish it was, because for like Spawn, a lot of what makes Spawn cool is the cape. Now, it's a pretty nice cape, but it would have been kind of cool if it would have been flaring out a little bit more, or maybe like some way to get the option. Again, price point, I understand. Like, this is definitely like the safe cape. But especially like even the way it was in the game, like a lot of the times like you see him standing and it's kind of like moving with the wind. Well, this is just straight up and down. Which again, for like standard display purposes, this cape works great. It actually has a lot of nice detailing too, because you can see how like the way the cape's designed, it's done in layers. Which when I go to customize this thing, we're gonna have to do it pretty much the same way. But it looks like you got like 1, 2, 3, 4 layers to encompass the entire thing. And it's got a nice heft to it. And it's made out of this like soft rubber material. But you even get like some detailing in the intersection, looks really good. And it's just like the detail for it's consistent. And I really like that. Because even on the undersection, it looks like that should be right. So there's a connector piece on the back. Good to know. Oh, that's kind of... Alright. So there's, like, when he's getting, like, some moves done to him, I've seen some stuff where, like, the cape disappears so you can see him getting stabbed in the back. And it'd kind of cool if you could replicate that, but with that notch there, I imagine that's not a thing anymore. But it is kind of nice that he still has, like, some of the detailing showing up on the back here for the suit. Also a lot of nice muscle definition. Because this is like a section here, like, definitely some muscle definition. But this is like a section here where I can see, like, the detailing being skimped out a little bit on. But you even get the skull on the back here where the chain's connecting to it. And it still, again, looks really nice. Then coming around to the front here, you get these skulls here with the little chain coming across it. Waist, more skulls and spiky chains. On his arm, one side you get the giant gauntlet with the spikes on the top of it. I guess it's not really a gauntlet per se because his hand's still exposed, but you get the gist. And then over here for his, I'm not even sure what they actually call it. It's like a bracer with some more spiky protrusions. Got the armband with some more spikes on it. It's got a little knuckle guard, more spikes. It's got some pockets. Not sure what he needs pockets for, but he has pockets on his side. Hold some ammo clips. Which wraps around the entirety of the leg. You can kind of see where it latches on the back here. For his legs, you get one giant spiky boot, one slightly spiky leg, and then this little wrapping around the foot here. Which I imagine if he stepped on something, that would kind of hurt a lot, because there's not really that much protection on it, outside of just like the suit being protection in general. So, detailing? Fantastic. Again, like, probably one of the coolest looking spawns I've really ever seen. Outside of some of, like, the special edition ones, or, like, the first edition one's still really cool, because pretty much the ones that have, like, the elaborate capes are generally the ones I kind of gravitate towards. While the more basic figures are just kind of, they're cool, but not really what I gravitate towards. And with this guy, he's kind of, like, in the middle, because it's still a fairly basic spawn, but the amount of detailing on him really makes him stand out from the crowd. And then for his articulation, head, go like up about that far, down about that far. Rotate side to side, get a little bit of a wiggle to it as well. Arms can go up about that far, down about that far. Rotates all the way around. You also get a little bit motion with the shoulder back and forth. Also a rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows, but the way the spikes are, it's going to hinder the movement there a little bit. Same with this one. You have this giant armor piece here, so it has an extra joint, but again, you don't get like the full bend out of it. And then for the hands, you can rotate all the way around. It looks like they can go in one direction, forward and back. For the chest area, you can go forward about that far, backwards about that far, rotate side to side. You also get a rotation here at the waist, but nothing too crazy. Pretty much just gives you more forward bend, more back bend. Legs can go outwards about that far, inwards about that far. Little bit of rotation at the top of the leg. Nothing at the knee for rotation, but it is, I think this side was the stiff one, if I'm not mistaken. But this side, you can see, double jointed knee, moves forward, and then for each of the foots, you get essentially the same articulation where they can rotate all the way around, articulation at the toes, and they can go forward and back. But because of this foot with the armor plating here, you get the same movements, but for the most part, it's going to be like that. And for quick comparisons, here we have him next to everybody's favorite burn victim, at least on this channel, the SH Monster Art Shin Godzilla, and the Figure Arts Ultraman Belial. And here's some My Hero Academia McFarlane figures with Deku, or even known as Midoriya, and All Might. And here's some other fighting video game / anime characters, with the McFarlane Scorpion, the Smolder outfit version, GameStop exclusive, and the Dragon Ball Stars Cooler, who was also in the video game Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Here's some more McFarlane figures with the Captain Price from Call of Duty Modern Warfare and the Alien Queen from AVP. Then for some random comparisons, here he is with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Lord Zedd custom version and the Marvel Legends Blade 2 figure. So overall for the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11 Spawn figure, this thing is great. Easily one of the best Spawn toys, if not the best Spawn toy I've ever owned. The articulation's awesome. Detailing is phenomenal on this thing. And the only real major nitpicks I got is I kind of wish the cape was a little bit more elaborate. Like, it looks great, but just a little bit more flary would have been cool, just to give it a little bit more displayability. But the standard look still pretty solid. And some extra hands would have been appreciated, especially for this being a fighting game. But for what it comes with and at the price point, you can't really complain about it. And I gotta say, bravo to McFarlane, because for the most part, I haven't really been that into their toy lines recently. The My Hero Academia ones have been very hit and miss. Like, they're cool, but not quite like anime accurate. So, still been leaning towards some of the Japanese companies that can really get my itch for that. And then there's the Call of Duty ones, but those are just like, okay. And now having the Mortal Kombat ones, Scorpion's been pretty sweet, but this Spawn figure just kind of elevates it a little bit, especially with this guy not only being great for Mortal Kombat collectors, is also just great for Spawn collectors in general, and especially with the amount of articulation detail this guy has. Again, blows me away in terms of a Spawn collectible. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what's your favorite Spawn collectible? Or is Max just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. We also have an Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. If you guys like to keep up to date with the channel and donate, would greatly appreciate it. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a Ranger today, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.